Orion Pax is studying in the Hall of Records in a little section of the library, doing some work that Alpha Trion has assigned him to. He's in a deep workflow, focus, hyper focus, let's say. Feels like that's all he thinks about is, no, he doesn't even think about it. He's just doing the work. Then he saw a shadow come by, and he looks, and it is a beautiful woman, a robot woman from their species. And all of a sudden his workflow just went away, and he's fixated towards that attractive woman. He is in a tug of war on, should I continue working or should I just approach her and say something and then go back to work? And then second option. So he gets up, closes his hologram laptop, goes up, and she just sat down and she opened up her hologram laptop and started doing the work. And then creepily, the guy, Orion Pax, goes and sit across from her, right? Like that. He's doing exactly what I'm doing, like. And then he says something. He said, "Hey, my name is Orion Pax. What is yours?" And then she just looked at him weird, like, what are you doing? Like, can you see I'm working? And then kind of, it didn't go as well, right? The approaching her at this certain time, and his energy, his vibe. He said it in an awkwardly, like, hi, my name is Orion Pax, right? Instead of like being energetic, being in a like social flow state. And then she said, hi, my name is Arion, let's say. Arion, what are you doing? And then Orion Pax just cut her sentence off and said, I think you're very cute. And she's looking at him weird, like, not a good time, and you're not really my type. And so he felt devastated, like, got out of the chair, walked, and then got his laptop, and then just quickly walked out of the hallway of the library section. And then a roller coaster of emotions just went through him. And this story actually was very similar towards mine during 9th grade. So I'm a senior currently in 9th grade, which was 3 years ago. So COVID was around my 8th grade year, right? March, and then we came back to school around late August, I think, right? And so I was weird, antisocial. I was locked up. I was living at an RV, like outside from now on, since this house was getting remodeled since we just found it, and then we put in a lot of work, right? Basically. So I was living at a small RV for a while, right? Just stuck home, like from March to August, right? Like we barely went out. Like the thing we probably went out the most was go get groceries, right? And then during school, I was weird, antisocial, and I kind of talked to my friends as from the previous year, right? Like that wasn't so bad, right? But then I saw a attractive girl, and I was shorter at the time and much skinnier, and I didn't have like the confidence or like the knowledge that I have currently. So it was weird. And so I started fantasizing like we were together romantically, nothing sexual, but like we were together romantically, like on a date, like going to Rome, like out of to eat or have a dance, and that, and during this past tense, during like the COVID lockdown, I was watching like those kind of romantic TV shows because it's down bad, and really I was home locked up, right? So that was like a coping mechanism, and so that eventually transitioned into like August, September, right? I always see her in the hallways. We always see each other, and so I always like looked at her. She always did the same thing, so I thought like maybe she likes me, right? Maybe. So around, let's say, September till April, all I did was fantasize about like romantic things for hold on, September, almost a year, basically, right? Almost the whole school year. I didn't take action. I didn't do nothing. I just daydreamed about it. When I'm school working, daydream. When I was like doing classwork, man. But okay, but that's basically how it was throughout most of my freshman year. And then during April, I've noticed like, man, it's the last year, or it's like the last 2 months of school, so I better like take action. So what I did was in a cafeteria, we always go in the morning, right? Like I took the bus, right? And so the bus drops me off from like the patio, right? And then we go to the cafeteria, which is like right there, right? And most of it's like out, like this is outdoor, right? There's like trees right here. There's like little like covers for like when rain, stuff like that, right? And then there's like this like grass field, and the cafeteria is like right here, and the door's in the corner, right? We go, sat down. Always sat down in my corner, talking to my other friends, right? And she does the same thing, right? She drops off, and then she always sits like across from me, right? So I wasn't too sure. I got advice from like my cousin when like to mention me like on TikTok and stuff like that, right? So like hopefully like it's a guaranteed, right? And then I was very delusional at the time, so I mentioned like, do you like Jose, which is me? Something like nah or not. I wouldn't say like nah, but it was like an unclear answer. It wasn't no or yes. That's all I remember. And so I was like, so hopefully maybe I got a chance, right? And so around half of April, I guess, I put on my earbuds, like put on like a good song, went down, stood up, walked across, and oh my god, like it felt like there were chains dragging my feet. Like imagine like chains like dragging your feet, and you're like, like the willpower. I was using nothing but willpower to like go across, sat down and introduced myself, right? And it's not as bad as like the story I told earlier, but she was like on her phone scrolling on TikTok. Like she usually sits by herself waiting for her friends because her friends come in like a bit later. And then I just said like hi. I don't exactly remember the conversation because it's been so long, but all I remember was it was like a small talk, right? Kind of mention about middle school, since I used to have like one class with her the previous year in my science class. We talked like the teachers like rude, something like that. Like, how was stuff like that, right? And then afterwards, it went to a dead silence. Right, we're just there scrolling on TikTok, like me here, she was right there, right? Just scrolling, right? Yeah, scrolling, and then usually, when like her friends will sit next to her because like, oh shoot, a guy just approached her, right? So they don't want to like ruin it. And then when the bell rings, we just got up and went our different paths. Damn. And then May, or I did it again, but I didn't. That was like my second approach, right? Like after April, I didn't like approach her, like didn't like talk to her, like how I guess most guys would do. Because I got like awkward towards her again, because say there's a graph, right? And this is when I talked to her, right? First time approach. And usually guys will be like that, right? Like, started like talking to them more often, right? But for me, I talked to them and then went straight down. And then early May, talked to her and then boom. And then etc. and so forth, right? So it's like that. Did my second approach. Did the same thing, and that one, I guess it was less awkward, a little bit of progress, but I was delusional, so I couldn't tell like if she was into me, if she wasn't. So I was fixated towards, oh, she's definitely into me, right? And then I stopped talking to her for a while, right? Until I realized school ended at May 27th, which is like earlier. And then the day before, I was like, man, like texting, calling my friend when I was like walking home from the bus. Like, should I make my move? Should I not? Like, should I wait during 10th grade? And then I decided, like, screw it. Like my gut, like the butterflies were like so strong and tense. And I said, like, screw it. So from May 26th through until the end of the day, May 27th, I had very strong butterflies in my stomach, right? So, and then the next day school ended shortly, around 12, and we usually get out at 4, so that's like 4 hours. And let me see. So my last class was a science class in 9th grade. And I was like so scared, like so jumpy and all that stuff. And when the bell rang, I decided like spring up, dash across the hallways, because like the science hall was like at the other side of the school, right? Dash, right? Like kind of nervous, like trying to look for her ish. And then I saw her in the patio, just like right there, like hanging out with her friends, saying something like, I'm grateful and stuff like that. I'm grateful for this year. Some stuff like that, right? And I was just like there waiting like for an opportunity, just like awkward by myself. Oh no, not awkward. I was like with my 2 friends. I was like, okay, waiting. And then I remember asked one of my friends, like, should I approach her, should I not? And then he said, like, go for it. Like, what else can be wrong? And then I went, waited for like the friend group to like separate, and she was like there by herself, right, waiting for her parents, I'm assuming. And then I went, say hi, would you go out with me and stuff, etc. and so forth. And she said, let me think. She's like, no, I'm talking to another guy at a different school, etc. so forth. And I was like, oh, okay. And then she left. She said, oh, I gotta go. And then left. And I was like, I was like heartbroken, but I was like confused, because I've been like so delusional, like from the since September. Like I couldn't accept the defeat. So I was like, okay. So literally later that day, I texted her on her damn TikTok saying like, I don't know. And then I kind of like left her alone, but I was still fantasizing, right? And then I eventually got in touch with one of her close friends, talking about her, like what is she thinking of me and stuff like that. And then how do you say it? Coincidentally, say out of nowhere, I got a class together with her close friend in 10th grade, which is PE class, which in my mind I kind of thought, maybe it's God telling me something. And so kind of like mention her, but other than that, it was neutral, right? And then I guess like September or like October, I remember saw on her close friend story like shouting out the girl that I was into, like she's single, she's ready like to mingle and stuff like that, right? And I was like, I wouldn't say I was pissed, but I was like kind of like frustrated. Yeah, frustrated. Like when her text her like, what the heck, what happened? And then she said like, I don't know, she made up some lie, but all in all, it directly told me like she's just not into you. I was like, damn, okay. And so after that, I kind of went through my villain arc, right? Changing up like my mindset and everything, and then that's when that pain and frustration, this kind of helped me discover self-improvement. So Hamza, discovered him around like February of that same year, and then my mind just like changed, my mindset and everything. Like there's red pill, there's stuff like that. And I was like, every day I used to watch all of his videos, right? Boom. Every time I eat, watch the videos, etc. And so the last 2 years, I would call it my, how would I say it? My learning years, okay? And this is my senior year, so my last year of high school. But I don't know, dang. Because it's barely the 8th day of school as I'm talking on this camera, so I don't know what my current moves are. But all I know is a lot of people can relate to this video, because a lot of people have experienced a lot of these things. Guys get rejected a lot. The 80-20 rule. 20% of guys get 80% of the women, and then 20% of 80% of guys want, like, I don't know, you get what I mean. 20% guys get 80% of women, and then 80% of guys only get 20% of girls. So I kind of like accept it, and then over the year, the quality kind of went up drastically, okay? And then now I'm kind of currently in a crossroads where, should I continue this, or should I like break off and like do something new, basically. And the best way to kind of avoid this is, again, don't be like a straight asshole, let's say. Because here's the spectrum. There's a simp, right? Which a total simp, which I was kind of right here, right? And there's like the total asshole, right? Like, man, get away from me, like misogynistic stuff, right? And so the idea is to be in the middle, have a bit of both on each side. and that's what I call being traditional, a traditional man in the middle out of this spectrum. And so throughout those years, I'm kind of like getting closer, and then closer, and then closer, right? And then with all this, it's two things you have to fix. One, your mindset, and two, your appearance. So especially with appearance, obviously go to the gym, right? Build some good muscle, like everywhere. And obviously try to improve like your grooming, your hair, or other stuff. And then two, I guess how you talk. No. Would that be physical? I would say it's physical because I'm physically talking, but how you talk and how you carry out the message. Instead of being awkward, be energetic or be like respectful. Because for me, I've cured my awkwardness by reading these two books, basically. How to Win Friends and Influence People and 48 Laws of Power. Yeah. And then I'll say a bit of this book too. It's not like a social skills book. It kind of like gets the idea of like how to, I guess, deal with a woman, right? How the way of the superior man, good book, and like purpose and stuff like that. And so that really helped my trajectory. So my trajectory, like before I discovered self-improvement, it was like that, right? Basically. And then when I discovered self-improvement, purchased a couple of books. 48 Laws of Power was the first book because like at the time, like I didn't have no good social skills. Like, so I wanted to get the book so I know like tactics, manipulation, or manipulation has like a negative connotation. I would say persuasion. Know how to persuade others. Okay. There. Oh. And so I read it. It's a very long book, and then essentially my vocabulary and the way I deliver things really improved. Like all like the laws really ingrained in my mind. So it kind of got me. Let me think of what else. And then obviously How to Win Friends and Influence People, it's more like that, but it's less like manipulation, persuasion. It's like how to be a nicer person, how to like negotiate like business stuff like that, basically. Damn. Hold on. All this talking. But read those books and kind of experience yourself, right? Honestly, like get like a friend girl, but I wouldn't really recommend it. It depends on what her intentions are with you and how your intentions are with you. If both of y'all's intentions are mutual, just friends, that's fine. But say one of them catches feelings or the other one, that's gonna be a big problem because again, you do not want to be an avoidance. In my two relationships that I had, 8th grade and 6th grade, at first I always thought that I was like emotional, immature, or like very avoidant, like avoidance, which I'm pretty sure carried that stuff, but that wasn't the reason why I ended those relationships, because my relationships were very short. And the reason why they weren't long and stuff like that was because I wasn't committed. I dated them just for the validation of my friends and stuff like that, because the way that I would like attract the girl those times was like a friend group, right? And then one of them catches feelings towards me, usually like in a classroom, stuff like that. And then I was like, yeah, sure, I'll date you. And then deep down, like my head and my gut feeling was telling me like, that's wrong because you're doing it for the validation. Like you're not really committed. So first one lasted only a week because I wasn't committed, right? Second one, 3 days, because same thing. I didn't want to be committed. I didn't feel like it didn't feel right. And so I always had the mindset that I was like, how do you say it? I don't know the word for it, but like immature with love, let's say. But sure, I need to fix that, but that wasn't like the main cause why those two ended. It was because I wasn't committed. I was doing it for the validation of like friends and stuff like that. So I wasn't validate. It was for the validation itself. So it didn't feel true and authentic to me. That's why I ended so quickly, because like my gut feeling, especially my gut feeling in my head was telling me like it's so wrong, and it eventually like carried like all the emotional weight, and like the only way out was break up with them. So that's what I did. Damn. That's what I exactly did. So let me think. Dang. Okay, so during those times, I kind of like got like all the emotional weight out, but at the same time, I kind of regret it, because come on, someone who is single versus a couple, on paper, who would think will be more happier? The couple, right? So I wanted to like be more happier, stuff like that. And so I was like, man, like I shouldn't have done this, stuff like that. But my logic thinking was like, that was a good move. So I listened towards my logical thinking, because it was like so strong, like sending me like powerful signals, like to like my brain and nervous system, stuff like that. Or like if I keep on like listening towards like my emotions, my feelings, then it's gonna, I don't know what would be the end outcome, to be honest, because it never happened. And so with mentally, mentally, get a strong mind, being stoic, and be authentic with yourself. Analyze, do you want to be in a relationship with her? Like, could you picture yourself like with this girl like for a few years, right? Like commitment, because everybody knows relationship isn't like all romantic stuff, right? It's mostly logic. And so what? The first 3 months, right? It's gonna be like the emotional roller coaster, the most like romantic thing, like a picture like of like an ideal like relationship from like a movie, or like from a Disney movie, Disney show, whatever. But then afterwards, it kind of like dips down, like y'all sort of lose attractiveness, stuff like that. And so especially with people all around me, from like friends, family, I always hear like they're always in relationships like so quickly, like a few months, like 3, 6, 9 months. So like, dang, like I do not want to be that person. I do not want to be average when it comes to a relationship. Like I want to be totally committed with this person, right? So that's why I haven't really started dating ever since those years, because I have the mindset like I want something long term. Like that's all I'm looking for, is long term and serious. And let me think of this yet again. And so I've been I've been delaying gratification for as long as possible until like the right circumstances happen, and God gives me like the perfect opportunities to do so, because it's part of life, let's say. Hold on. That's better. That's better. Maybe. Oh damn! What was I gonna say? Dang. So, okay. So being stoic, right? Be emotional control, because girls like masculine guys, and you gotta be in control in your emotions, etc. There's like common sense advice from masculine people like Andrew Tate, Hamza, like all those people telling you, be stoic, have a right mindset, stuff like that. And also analyze your problems, analyze like her red flags, stuff like that. Like, does she have degenerate friends? Is she... Does she dress like very revealing? Like, I mean, come off like I do not want other guys to like stare at her like when they're like wearing like too revealing clothes and stuff like that. And have boundaries and like respect yourself, and hopefully find a woman that can respect herself and you too. Because especially a guy craves respect out of his woman, and then a girl craves love and affection towards her man. But this will be a separate video because it's already like more than 30 minutes long, and yeah, basically that's really the whole scope of it. And obviously my next video will be like a topic about this book, The Way of the Superior Man, like all the relationship advice, all like mindset, anything. How to be polarized with your woman, stuff like that. And how to breathe properly too. So that's really it. Embrace your discomfort, especially when you don't feel like it.